That summer was strange. The sky above the village seemed to have gone mad. At times it hung heavy with a leaden haze for weeks, and at others it unleashed torrential rains that uprooted apple trees. And then came the thunderstorms. Not the usual kind, which leave behind the scent of ozone and freshness, but furious ones, as if nature itself was seeking revenge for something. Mom was alone in the old brick house. My father had died the previous winter from pneumonia, and I, just 7 years old, was staying with my grandmother in the city. She rarely spoke of that day, but before her death, she suddenly told me, as if wanting to unburden herself. The clouds rolled in by noon. The air grew thick, like jelly, and the wind howled through the cracks in the shutters, threatening to tear them off. Mom, who had always been afraid of thunderstorms, locked all the doors, covered the windows with blankets, and huddled under a rough woolen quilt in the bedroom, trembling. The thunder roared so loudly that the glasses in the cupboard rattled, and then she heard it through the chaos of the storm, a faint crackling, like wires snapping. A hissing sound came from the hallway. Peeking out from under the blanket, Mom saw a bluish glow. It seeped through the crack under the door, pulsating as if alive. A second later, a glowing ball, the size of a watermelon, rolled into the room. It hovered above the dresser, thin threads of lightning stretching from it, filling the air with the smell of sulfur. Mom froze. Her body felt as if pressed down by an invisible weight, her voice trapped in her throat. The ball jerked and shot toward the electricity meter on the wall. The explosion blinded her. When her vision returned, only melted scraps of plastic remained of the meter, and a smoking groove ran across the floor, leading to the corner of the room. There, where the ball had touched the brick wall, a gaping hole had been blasted, as if struck by a sledgehammer. And she saw them. Two figures, tall, nearly 2 meters, dressed in gray jumpsuits that clung to their thin bodies. Their faces, no, they weren't faces. Their eyes huge, almond-shaped, completely black, without whites.